A favorite of ours when we were kids, these chocolate chip rolls are a comforting and fluffy addition to your breakfast or brunch table. The dough starts like bread dough usually does, by blooming the yeast in some warm milk and half of the sugar. Then once it's bloomed and you know the yeast is alive, add the rest of the sugar, eggs, cardamom, which you can leave out if you want, salt, and whisk this together before adding flour and softened butter. Knead this either by hand or in a stand mixer until the dough is smooth and no longer sticky. It starts off looking pretty scraggly, and then eventually it should come away from the sides of the bowl like this. We add the chocolate chips towards the end of the mixing time, then let this rise for an hour to an hour and a half until doubled in size. Now let me show you how I get the most even looking 12 rolls. I start by weighing the entire dough, then I divide this by 12 using a calculator, obviously, because I'm not doing that in my head. I then eyeball cutting it into 12 pieces, but then I weigh each piece individually, adding or removing dough until it's the right weight. This gives you 12 nearly perfect rolls every time. You don't have to follow this step, but I find that if you don't, you might end up with smaller rolls and bigger rolls, and while that doesn't really matter in terms of taste, they might bake unevenly, so this is definitely worth the extra time and effort. When shaping the rolls, pinch the dough into a ball shape, making sure to push the chocolate chips into the dough because you don't want them to be on the outside and burn when baked. Then place the ball of dough seam side down on the table and move your cupped hand in small tight circles. This creates surface tension and helps the bun rise evenly. Repeat this with the rest of the rolls and transfer them to 2 baking sheets. Let them rise again for another 30 to 45 minutes and preheat your oven to 390 Fahrenheit or 200 Celsius. Brush with an egg wash and bake for 12 to 14 minutes. When they're done, they should be nice and golden brown with a hollow sound when you tap the bottom. Let them cool for a bit, but they're definitely irresistible when they're still warm from the oven, so enjoy them plain or topped with butter, and just give them a quick zap in the microwave once they've cooled fully, and they'll go back to being warm, fluffy, chocolatey, and all the things you could ever want. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and do all of those things, and see you next video. Bye!